terrible to get our range master.
Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah.
So the three of us were doing that. I'll try to keep it.
Right. I wouldn't
Make
definitely.
that the advisory part of it.
Right.
Okay.
Biggest thing is I want one single person other than me in charge of making the final decision on the rule.
Okay. So Chuck is going
He wants to do safety with Todd because they're close.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about putting Charlie in with safety
well,
because I figured.
so the two's got to work real close.
So that's figured just money because
The
like.
two's got to
Yeah.
work real close.
Yeah.
And
But his primary job would be firing line, but
Right.
that's under safety because he
oh
needs.
yeah, well, I mean,
Safety could essentially need to have a little bit of power to be able to shut the event down.
right.
You know, and Charlie's right next to the machine, and he can see something that's not right.
Right.
He just like, you know, and that power should be within the safety realm responsibilities.
Exactly.
I'm even thinking that George Russell has to report to safety too, because, you know, security sees something unsafe.
Well, George was on the safety committee anyway.
Right. So it's all, yeah, I was asking about how safe, you know,
Right.
everything.
Right.
Did you get a URL?
Yeah, I've got a copy to the dashboard already.
Okay. Put that out there.
Yeah, I left you logged in on the other tabs.
Okay.
And then I have it set to auto hide their audio video, and then the control room's up so you can do it.
Just
What is it?
In other words, there was far too much work. For me, that's, I used to do a full-time job and then work for the person side and then do. It's just like, you know, you do that.
Yeah, I think I'm putting newer computers down here too.
I would hope so.
They're still gonna have small drives, but I'm putting the little Dell firearms boxes. I got 64 gig as a usual.
Work a full-time job and then come to and work a full-time job. Yeah.
That one?
They like that.
That one? Glad you came. Glad you stopped in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, nobody else.
Claire,
is
is
available
there?
to drop in.
And then you're meeting with Chad on Monday regarding Ramco, right?
Yeah, that's just a phone meeting, right?
I would rather do it in person.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, either Punkin down here or you over there.
I don't care. I got I
So
won't
we
be
can
around
get
long.
up there and get a good chunkinology.
Can we take a picture of that? Just
How's it going,
This is
man?
Ben.
Is he gonna be your replacement on the IT deal?
He could easily replace me.
Got,
He does all the technology for the Sussex County Association of Realtors.
Okay. So he knows where the remote mic is to put on the front.
I think that just for the fact that we're next to it, because we could hear Frank shake.
Yeah, so yeah, as long as Frank ain't too close to it, huh?
Yeah.
Which Frank? In the back. As long as it's at the front with what's going on.
Frank and Frank.
Yeah.
And then
The
OWR
question
got done.
is it gonna be a paid and
And then
shady
Sirius
place or
should
shady
be done
paid?
next week.
That's nice. So we should have something for them to look at.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Which I'll be
It's
involved.
all
in
about
that
chunking.
on Tuesday. So
Amen.
Whatever we gotta do,
whole
make
map
that
thing
happen.
where they want to merge
Right.
all of these areas. Like they want to merge MRAS and Trend and some
Right.
other local associations, West Coastal.
Hey, good, brother.
So I gotta go up for those meetings.
You got
Damn,
her.
with
Just
moving
SO,
old stuff was up
SO,
at
that's something
Christmas
we could outsource
last
it
week.
to,
It's just right.
Don't even show that.
I don't know what the other one's
Exactly.
This isn't our house.
So the potential is it would
Probably better
become.
walking around doing.
So the potential with all of this is
But
there'd
it's
be
something
one
to do.
regional MLS.
Right.
There'd no longer be, and all they do is purchase services from other companies.
and if we figure out, how to replace, use Ramco to do all this single login stuff, we can just put, what you would call it, out of business on the East Coast.
Well, the problem though is not all these associations do. It's like, we do, the Delaware Association does,
Right.
Coastal Association does, and some other ones.
Well, figure if we get those, then we'll start racking up enough money to buy some more programmers.
Sedelis is under MRIS.
Yeah.
Sedelis is part of
They
They have
found it
Ramco.
near, you know, when you go up their lane to their house,
Yeah.
that broke
Yeah.
down shed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It'll be
like
pretty big
10
because
feet
you're talking.
within that range.
So you think maybe they were blowing
You're
by
talking
or
all
something?
all of Delaware,
Yeah.
parts of Pennsylvania.
It
parts
moves
of
a lot.
Moonshine.
$2,000 a month or something like that.
They got a bunch of those bottles.
We've been racking it up and then
Gallon or?
you can put here and
Yeah,
stuff
that's
for
gallon bottle.
that kind of money.
What do you do them all?
They, so Ruth, I guess, was talking, because I know they
Tell them, John, I wouldn't mind buying.
Yeah, it's both of them. Well, I guess
When we
at the
started
last
digging
meeting,
stuff
she was
out of it, she
like,
got
they
like.
want to get some money down here to run it. She's like, well, just call Ben. I don't want to.
It's like, wait a minute, I'm working for you.
I'll
I don't know,
probably-
Ruth, at that point, Ruth already knew.
Whole weather.
What's she doing now?
Whole weather.
She has a-
Oh, they're gonna be in there.
Yes, yes, they will.
Oh, she's
Ain't nothing to grab one that's cold, big
But
movie
she's
fast.
got
Yeah,
calls
they'll still
from
play.
Yeah, so.
front thing. She
But
just has some sort of interview, from what I know. She has some sort of interview with the state to do,
Approve,
Yeah.
oversee something,
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
some-
Sussex County.
yeah, some did
but it's state run.
a lot of them just did by the
But
boat.
she's like, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity in there. She's like, I feel like you and Andy for things. I'm like,
I think you have a full-time job and then some.
I know. Well, that's why I'm trying to get out of the other.
You cut back a lot on filter DNS. I think.
I was just doing,
Since you said.
the only ones I've kept so far are the ones that you guys, and everybody else is telling me.
That's
to
exactly
call
what
you.
Chris,
Like Frank called me yesterday with a, he's got another agent wants to site, and I told him just to call.
Yeah.
Who's that, Frank Serious?
The air.
Yeah, making it work.
There's a couple people I'm still doing stuff for, like Delmar Pizza.
Yeah.
Because I go to Georgia. I get
Yeah,
phone calls.
you're gonna have to do your friend stuff until it becomes a pain in the ass.
So he wants, right now, somebody in Greece is doing his website, he wants me to take it over.
Well, she didn't bite.
And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then,
You know about.
I think that'd be easy.
yeah.
Like, here's a menu.
Well, he doesn't want it much different, which isn't a big deal.
Right.
And then he just wants it. His big thing was he wants it mobile. And I was like, well, I'm not going to take this guy's site and make him mobile, so I'm going to have to take over the whole thing. So that's fine. And then he thinks somebody's stealing stuff out of the safe. So he wants a spy camera in his office. So I was like, okay.
Hardy blank.
So we'll probably be doing that too. And then I got a couple
And, they sold the
of like
second
the
one
hotel,
at Certainty.
the hotel jobs we keep them, like the,
Crack, dry, whole paint, whatever, none of which is true. So Certainty was involved in the class action, so it's a seven. And, the average, because they all shrank. And then the average
Right now it's not
Certainty is, on the house buy side, $15,000 to $14,000.
Enough to put a new set up.
No, not even. Not even.
How much?
So they brought the suit against, they're bringing the suit against Hardy. And so Hardy contacted me, or I contacted him, sent him my pictures and all that space. And so Hardy offered me
I don't know how much they that.
5.5 square of new siding, which is enough to do my entire house. Okay?
Oh, no,
This
don't.
square is
Got 144 megs per.
I don't know, whatever it was,
No.
they offered me enough siding to recover my entire house. Okay? And so I contacted them through the attorney. Okay, now this settlement lets you off the hook, but who's gonna pay to take the old off and dispose of it, put the new on and then pay? Well, that's your responsibility.
I don't think so.
I don't think I'm understanding. So I'm involved in the class action suit. They ought to be coming up with a settlement round this year. So, and you know what? We've gone back and we've caulked and stripped and they have a solution for it. What happens is concrete and it wouldn't hold paint. Paint would slide and wash off in a year. I painted my house 5 times in 13 years. So this last time we painted it, now that we know what the problem is, there's two solutions. There's a primer that you can use on concrete, or there's a emulsion that you can mix into the paint, which we opted to do. And this seems to be holding much better. So we'll,
It actually probably quote unquote burns into the paint.
yeah, whatever it
Or
does.
into the concrete a little bit.
Yeah, whatever it does, it's still,
And I could, there's a way to share the screen.
we caulked all the slip joints and we you know.
Well, yeah, if you connect to that, you can
drilled and
share the
tacked
presenter
all the-
with your laptop.
Just do it that way?
Yeah.
You know,
Because then it goes through the Google Hangouts, everybody sees it.
So,
It doesn't matter. Once you connect, I can make you a presenter.
what's up, brother? We still need to get together. I gotta talk to the side of each other.
They're,
The dad was telling me about it today, because I guess,
Rehoboth, well, the Rehoboth Housing Authority, whatever they finally went to the Rehoboth Beach office, town council and said, look, we can't allow this, so now Rehoboth's probably gonna do a resolution against it. Milton's got something going on next week.
Still gotta let me know. So I can use it.
And then, the problem is, 4 weeks, roughly, the feds will make another resolution about it, and then that goes to another 90-day actual public comment period at the federal level, and then we're starting this all over again. So, but I'll let you know, I'll sit down with you and say all that. There's a whole presentation video on my website that he's gonna do.
But I wanna get, face to face and get to
Yeah, you need to, also.
you know what I mean? That's fine.
I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it. Might just like next 2 weeks.
So am I. I'm gone for the 23rd. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
And then, I'm back for 3 weeks and then I'm gone for 3, I'll be back in March.
Okay, well, when you go back, I'll, before you do today, give me your email address, and then I will email you the link to that video so you can watch it at your leisure. And then that'll really give you the background of what's going on. I can tell you that economic impact of this and other stuff. And then,
This is more of the county. They want the right people with the county the county side to go with it.
well, we need the county to approve it. What we're doing is, it's a grassroots movement. We're going after every coastal state that's involved. There's over 90 towns now that are going to their states to say we don't want this. So you sit in the towns, tell the states they don't want it.
You're late. Oh, yes, it's everybody said, no.
That's what I was talking to
You know, my friends thousands, but Markel said it's okay, so just what I push it, it's not coming. And so that's why we make sure that on the county and state level, we have some support.
And buried in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, the concern, it blows us out there, vetted, you know, they're not putting. I'm sorry, but it scares the hell out of me. I think that feels easier. You can make
I got 0 viewers. I got 0 people on here.
Yeah, I got my kids on the way in. Get some in Delaware.
She did.
But, you know,
So all you gotta do, hey Frank, on this one, all you gotta do is click your lead. And I don't know if you can do it on that side, but, or you should be able to. Yeah, can you hit your button? Okay. All you do is select your picture, that little arrow, and present to everyone. And it'll swap it to yours.
we're still hearing audio on this side. And then once I start moving,
Right, they just don't see anybody, they only see your mic.
so go ahead and unpresent.
Wait a minute, I think this.
Gotcha.
And then you can, if it's the same domain, I think I can give you that access here. And I muted your mic so it wouldn't echo.
Keep my hat on for the glare on the It's like a camera in front, before it gets back in your head, so it's glare on my head. Yeah. Now the camera's Hey, Terry. think it's your.
Yeah, Frank, so it's this one right here.
Well, before the glare off the back of my bald head. Ah! That's why. I'm right
It's in the
there.
middle again.
I never seen one.
Yeah, I thought it was
And we still don't have that tradition. Yeah, but I give you a card back if you want it.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
For me, but he cares.
Oh, yeah.
Does Frank want to sign in?
At least a part, at least a part. Oh, Lawrence guy.
I'll call you back later.
She's trying to get to the next
Mostly you.
She can't do that. She's trying to stay there.
My garage.
Betty told me to tell her yes.
I have my
Oh, we don't want to sign up now. Already said that.
But you can pay electronics should be in prison. If there's stuff that's not there, let me know. You know what I mean? Because I've been using that like for pretty much all my Chunkin stuff. So like if you can get into the right? So like
I just ordered.
right, so like pretty much all my email exchanges,
That is wrong. That's broken up.
Everyone's in the middle. Everyone wants to sit in the back, everyone wants to sit in the front.
like do we have anybody?
Oh, no, no, I got paper saying, that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hey,
No.
Right now, she don't want to hear me suck. I'm talking about Betty Bell show. Right now.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
when they're over there.
I think
That's why
he's all the left wingers.
Yeah, right.
You ever got a little lobby shop from stuff place? I just had one for lunch. I wish they made a 10. like an app on bus.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I was just saying, I have one of those. Well, at least this time we're seeing. I guess this way you see right where it goes. I do, right? Oh, it
For Tuesday, I almost don't have any for Tuesday. Yeah, I'll say. Nice.
That's what I was saying. Really no
You can.
Yeah.
You know, wonder why I was following you.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry.
I was assuming that they Friday to Saturday every day.
That's okay. Just said you had to come to the back.
Yeah, I just
because of the time of year.
It's just the time of year.
I thought about the other day.
Yeah, I see them. And I just been working on the house, working on like the side of testing, so the townhouse one
Oh, we already know that.
Right. And we're now to, I got a rag.
Dude, we need to get a picture of all the new board members and post that.
Make a motion that
You guys
everybody
do something to me. I took his progress in my That mean you sit with us. I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
Why not? You would have gotten all right, let's go.
All right, guys. Thanks to everybody who came out again. I wanted to take a second in the beginning of the meeting just to say thanks for everybody who's helped out in small ways and large, not just over the last year, but since I've been involved with Punkin Chunkin. So as much as I would love to continue as your president, as everyone knows, I've decided not to seek re-election for a number of reasons. But I just wanted to say thanks to all my fellow officers and trustees who certainly have been a huge help, and everybody on the other side of the table, every member of the association. It's been great to work with through the year. So, without further ado, I know everybody's probably waiting to hear about our property sales updates, and we're heading up that. So we'll get an update on that, and then we'll head to the polls. So, take it away, Frank.
All right. Thanks for everybody coming out tonight, members and guests, and people online. I think who we have online. We actually have Bruce Strong, Matt DeFrancisco, Bob Carbo, Lundervold, Paul Hasek, Faith Harmon. Someone just dropped off. So hopefully we fixed the audio issue. One of the things that we did last time was obviously everybody's heads was pointing in the other direction. So when you are actually talking tonight, please speak up. And if you want to stand and help, the online viewers kind of hear exactly what's going on. Oh, cool. And Matt actually made reference to the fact that the audio is working great. Okay, and then there's a couple of people having a couple of hiccups. So let's get right into the meeting. Minutes. Under the proper order, do we have a motion to accept the minutes? Okay. Treasury report. Under the proper order, do we have a motion to accept the treasury report? All right. And we've already heard from Ricky, Vice President. Currently is Mark. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah.
Treasurer? Okay. We have nothing to say. IT officer. Myself is still holding that position until after this meeting, and it will be turned over to Rich King of Delaware Surf Fishing. We decided to actually bring him on board. Some things that are happening from an IT perspective online. So people have reached out to us. There's somebody out in Ohio that wants to do a world record, Guinness World Record. Mute everybody else.
All the way at the top.
No, that's us.
All right, anybody who's listening online, please mute yourselves. If not, I have to manually mute you. We'll have to figure that out. Obviously, that's the second time that we're doing this, so it'll get better over time. There's somebody out in Ohio that wants to do a world record chunk using a trebuchet. Obviously, they wanted the biggest trebuchet. I told them, well, that's a little far off to be traveling. So I reached out to the guys that we had in our current list and gave them information, so they're going to give us feedback on if the deal's made and give us a little bit of exposure out there. Other than that, everything's going as normal. There will be updates to the website as the year goes on, of course, with the land committee updates. All right, going to committee reports. I don't think we have anything other than field search. All right, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share out my desktop. Let's see if this works.
6 degrees ahead.
All right, that's it. All right, well, let's see if I can bring it up here. I actually want to show you. The field search committee's been working very hard. First, we started working with Dorchester County, and we started with the tourism department. We met with the county administrator and everything, and they've given us, farms to look at. Obviously, it's up to the farmer to be willing to actually hold the event on their farm. There's been a lot of great discussions. I think out of Dorchester, we had 5 farms to look at, and out of those 5 farms, there's 1 farm that is easily obtainable. However, we couldn't have parking there and we couldn't have camping there. So we want to continue with the search. We then had Rita O'Neill. She reached out to Caroline County following the same kind of steps that we did for Dorchester County, and we got the same results. We found some land. There's one piece of land right now in Greensboro, Maryland, and let's see if I can present that. And for the people that are online, I will send out, if you can't see what's going on the screen, I will send something out to you guys after the meeting. All right, so talking to the farmer, talking to the county and everything, there's going to be a county administrators meeting on the 22nd of this month to talk about support services and the costs associated with those. Talking to the farmer in regards to how much he wants to host this event. He straight up wants $100,000. At first that sounds like a lot, but things that before we can even make an agreement, we need to think about where, is it going to be cheaper to go to Maryland? When it comes down to insurance, because we're going to Maryland and everybody's talking about the cap in Maryland, it doesn't make a difference when it comes to insurance. A $10 million policy costs the same amount of money in Delaware as a $10 million policy in Maryland. It's the same type of policy. It's just that in Maryland, there's that additional level of security in the fact that there is a cap, so $10 million will protect you a little bit better than it will protect you in Delaware. So with that being said, we already knew that we were going to pay out $25,000 to go to Dover last year, so if you take that into account, the farmer has agreed to pay the landowner has agreed to pay the farmer the amount of money that it will take to actually put the land back to the way it was, which, in past years, we were paying the wheat lease to do. The other side of it is, where we gave a donation out, the owner will actually do his own donation, so there's no matching of donations. So that number is coming down. One of the things I do know from talking to the Dorchester County Administrator is the cost for support services are much lower there than Delaware. So that's where I think that we're going to be able to save the money to be able to say, hey, sure, $100,000 will work. Well, however, as I told the owner, we have to do our due diligence before we even start going down that path. So insurance requirements are easily met. I've started talking, and some of the other land committee members have started talking as far as the insurance goes. We can be insured. It's probably it should be under $60,000 for a field. For $9 million, kind of a similar setup that we had in 2013, with things as obviously there's going to be no ATVs whatsoever or straddle, equipment. Every topic that I have with any of the landowners or anybody on the field search committee has with the landowners is, obviously the safety perspective. And Todd Eastman is a safety consultant, that works with national companies, is willing to come back and help out with the association. So I have been in communication with him, and we started a preliminary spotter safety program to just say, here's the requirements to be a spotter, and it's going to be written up. Obviously, we're going to have to adhere to that because the insurance department, the insurance is looking for that. the other news, if Frank Shades, would you like to talk about anything else regarding the field search?
I don't mind letting it out. I've originally, whenever the day was, however many years ago, we brokered the original deal with the Wheatley Farm through Joe Conaway, myself, and an attorney. And Dale Wheatley's agreed to meet with me and Joe Conaway and his attorney to discuss our return to Wheatley Farm. He's not against it. He's just got to have the assurance that it's done. For those who were at the meeting in Dover with the legislators some time ago, the Trial Lawyers Association has assured us they can write their terminology, an ironclad contract to eliminate any landowner, not just Dale, just any landowner. That being said, I haven't been up with Chase. I've called him and asked him. They said they would do that pro bono, and I haven't been able to get up with him to put that to bed. So Dale's just coming back from vacation. When he gets back, Joe's assured me that he and Dale and I will sit down and renegotiate our future, if any, at the Wheatley Farm. He's not against it at all. He just wants to be protected.
And a little side note to that is, you know, one of the reasons why, you know, there was no option of going back to the Wheatleys was the fact that if Punkin Chunkin, because of all the, you know, the lawsuit and everything, if Punkin Chunkin came back, the Wheatleys insurance company would drop them. You know, talking to Corey Fetterman, that works with the Wheatleys and insures them through Nationwide, he and I have been in communication ever since the Dover scenario, because one of the things that was mentioned regarding the Dover thing was the fact that the insurance policy at over $100,000 or more was pretty much designed to make Dover totally invisible into the situation, even though they were participating in the event. So I said, well, with a policy just like that, why couldn't we go back to Wheatley's? You know, and that's the fact that we're not trying to protect corporate assets, we're trying to protect their livelihood and their land. And after 2 months of working back and forth with Nationwide, Corey Fetterman got back the topic of you need to know what you're going to do with spotters, how you're going to handle that, and give us a layout of the property. And, you know, as far as what he's getting back from Nationwide, as long as we use their insurance, so it's all going to be with the same type of insurance company, they're willing to allow Punkin Chunkin to come back, and there'll be no ill effect of the Wheatleys. So that's what Frank has to do. Yeah. But it really comes down to, you know, negotiations, rock solid lease agreement, and however the exchange of money that, you know, Corey Fetterman and Nationwide is referring to. So we got so many people connected to us that Google Maps won't even come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you're telling us there's a chance we can go back to Wheatley's?
There is a chance. I mean, I have talked to Jeff, and Jeff, you know, he said it's pretty much up to Dale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But don't anybody get excited yet, because nobody, I mean, they have to talk to Dale.
Yeah,
right?
and we do really reasonably have to put a deadline on this. So, you know, as far as, you know, we cannot go up to, you know, June. I don't want to go past even March. Yeah, I don't even go past March with, you know, not knowing if we have somebody else out there. The Chamber of Commerce of Milford actually just recently reached out to me and was, you know, saw mine where I would be, you know, being the president of the association, and they wanted to see what they could do to help define if there's any property in the Milford area that would be willing to host the event. So I said, sure. Based on what we were actually going and presenting to the other farmers, I gave them a little bit of leverage to say, get them to the table so we could talk to them, and we're going to see if that turns out. But I'm continually, and the field committee, you know, is continually working on the Greensboro one right now. Frank Shade has volunteered to continue working on the Wheatley farm at this point. You know, next meeting is January 22nd, right, Jake? No, January 22nd for Jake and myself and some of the field committees to go down and just talk to the county administrator. I want to get the same kind of good feeling that me, Broad Dog, and, you know, Rita got when we went to Dorchester, you know, with like meeting with that county administrator, kind of saying, hey, from a needs perspective, we're going to do a needs assessment. We're going to, you know, come up with how many people you're going to need, and we're not going to just tell you you're going to have to use all these people. That's what we got from Dorchester. Hopefully Caroline will give us the same type of feedback. I do know from talking to Ricky that, you know, Caroline's doing their due diligence and, calling up even the Dover people. And Dover's given us, some good feedback to them to just say, hey, we wanted to make it work out. So how we handled the whole Dover situation, even unfortunately not having the event there, definitely helping us out with land negotiations. Let's see if we get. Does anybody have any questions regarding those two options? I mean, and Dorchester's still looking. I mean, I told them, I'm being honest and upfront with them. We have two viable locations. The locations that you have presented to us with the farmers that are willing to hold the event there, they're just not capable to do the parking and the camping that we need.
There's not enough field room for all
Yeah, that Egypt Road, I mean, and I can send out Egypt Road if anybody wants to see it and everything. It's probably the best one out there, but there's no parking, there's no camping, and there's a very small, we would not be able to do our traditional type of chunk. So if it really, really, really came down to it, then obviously that would have to be a discussion. But feel very positive, Greensboro. I mean, he's only requested this is how much I want, and I want to be protected through insurance, and we need to present him an insurance policy, and he'll get back to us and let us know if that's satisfied. We met with the farmer, and the farmer was all for it. So that was half the battle. And that piece of property in Greensboro, will hold over 6,000 cars and over 1,200. Jake, you drove, so.
It was about 40 minutes from my house.
You're going out through Summerville.
You go right through.
All right, where's Greensboro? Is that Greensboro?
Greensboro, south of Goldsboro. Does that help you?
Is that Greensboro that's right
Yeah.
down there? That's Greensboro?
Yeah, that was Greensboro.
Okay, so this is like north of Greensboro?
It's still it's within town limits. Part of it is within town limits, so it is Greensboro. So everything. Yep, right next to the school.
313.
So yeah, 313.
There's only what, 100,000 in the whole town.
Yeah, me and Jake went through there. We were like, "Yep, this gas station's going to be out of gas by the weekend. This pizza place is going to have to learn that make pizzas quicker." But on this map, we would have all this access, and then obviously the machines would actually set up here, and shoot out that way. I mean, Jake's been doing all the layouts for the AutoCAD just to show the farmer exactly how we would utilize the land, so they understand what kind of impact it would actually have on the land. And this one fits out really nice. Obviously Wheatley's is a better option because we know how to set that property up, but we have options. So that is probably the best news that we probably present.
What's your distance on that field, do you know?
It's well over a mile. So.
There was,
I mean,
when
how
I laid it out, we spent like 110 machines on it, and about 60 of them could shoot 5,000 feet. And the rest of them could shoot around 3,500 feet. Was the shortest.
You laid it out, which direction were they?
That was all north.
It's same direction as Wheatley's.
Into the wind.
Into the wind.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and all the like the tourism department's been great. County, I mean, we're going to meet the county. The biggest obstacle we need to actually just almost the first question is the 313 needs to be shut down, or we'll shut it down if they approve it.
It's just not going to happen. It's a state highway.
Yeah,
They told us the same thing.
That's going to be the question. I mean, that's going to make it or break it type of
They'll
question.
put crossing guards on.
Yeah.
So like they did on Route 1.
Help me out. Where we would be parking on the other side?
Actually, hold on. Let me bring up the.
Like,
Well, we have a preliminary layout. Obviously, this is just for purposes of. What was it called? What farms was it called?
Yeah.
Ship farms. Yeah, I can probably tell you a little bit. Or Jake, you want to come up and give them a little. I know. If you forward it back to me.
I think I sent it to you. It wasn't just shit farms. It was pretty much the way. So there's a low area, kind of a little ditch that runs through here, and they actually just built a wastewater plant back here, so there's a real nice road that comes through. So we were thinking of doing camping across this section, and then do parking all through here, and also utilize this for parking. And then even so our pit line would go about like that. So we were even thinking of putting cars on this side as premium tailgate spots.
yeah, you gotta have tailgate parking.
So we were able to get 6,000 cars on it really without trying to cram them in, and that works out to, if you figure 4 people a car, that's 24,000 on your biggest day, which is about as many as we've had in most years. So that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so pit stuff would be back in here, like along the back edge, and then we just have to do an access through. I know I have that somewhere.
Is that a ditch that goes down through the property in the middle there, or is that a road?
This is a road.
That's a road?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
But that's a
So-
main highway, is that what Frank's saying?
It's only a 2-lane road though.
It's a state highway. I checked it.
Yeah.
It's state highway and.
It's one of Greensboro, Mulesboro, Marydale, Dover, back down this way, Yankee.
So they would probably, wouldn't they let us cross over it there?
You can,
Yeah, they could cross
the guys that I talked to, Jake, said they'd more than likely be willing to have officers there to stop traffic and cross people.
Yeah, that's probably not a big deal,
issue.
man.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Just keep them running in word like that.
No, it's not.
Were there any hotels or places like that in the area?
They're not far from Denton.
Yeah, it's like 45 beds.
It's not far from Denton, which has hotels.
Yeah. Yeah, right there across the bridge. The one on the right.
Looks like, I don't know that we can go into much more specifics, given that there's still a lot to figure out.
Yeah, and we can send out the draft. Yeah, if he finds it, we'll send it out. Since we talked about it tonight, we can send it out. It's draft. There's still a lot. We'll start, and everybody's quiet. All right. So we've talked a little bit about Greensboro tonight. We talked a little bit about Wheatley's, and we're still putting it out there because as we're continuing to want to find land options, they're coming in. So, anybody have any questions regarding these? All right.
The only question I have is, are we gonna be able to have it all settled up by March, do you think?
I want it settled up as soon as possible.
I mean, we gotta put some kind of deadline on it,
Yeah.
because we don't need to be waiting until July.
Yeah.
You know.
Frank, go ahead.
I've given, we're accepting to get any games.
And I would love that. So by next meeting, hope we need to be presenting an option for vote or have a really good excuse why we did not. Oh. Soon as you potato chips.
Frank, you want us, we can start
All right.
handing out the ballots and whatnot for.
You want to go old business?
This is all business.
We haven't done old business. We need to accept the motion to approve minutes of treasury report.
Well, we have motions on the floor, they need to be put to the vote.
Yeah.
So we have a motion on the floor.
We have a motion on the floor for the treasurer's report first, was the first.
I'll second it.
Was made, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes, that was Mark made the motion for the minutes. We have a second.
I'll second it.
All right. Debbie seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And we did do donations. I don't think we really did that many. We did $1,000 to
Bless our children.
Bless Our Children. We made $500 to Delaware Autism, and we did $500 clothing our kids, and they gave us a nice letter. I'll scan it and send it out to everybody.
And that lady acted like we gave her $1 million.
Yes.
She couldn't have been more thankful.
All right, this year alone, as of December 2015, for this calendar year, Mary Rio and her group of volunteers have delivered over 6,258 pieces of clothing to over 770 kids in just Sussex County alone. And these are kids in need that are identified by district of kids to see that. And we got they gave us a lot of good press. We got a lot of good press on Facebook and everything regarding that. And I think one of the things in the future would make a good policy if we give out donations that we need pictures with big check holders and everything. All right, go to new business.
Yeah. Folks who have already voted, we have a stack of them here. But anybody who's not voted, come up and grab a ballot.
The rule is you have to have a registered member on your team in order for your vote to count.
I got one.
Okay, so it's one vote per team with a registered member on your team.
So when did that change?
That changed in, bylaw changed in
The most recent change? We just went from 2 votes to 1 because nobody ever split their votes.
the whole idea of having a registered member on your team. You're not a team if you have no members, so it's not gonna be.
Probably next week.
Still people voting?
Yeah.
Very well. Come on, man. Anybody else?
Are they all in?
Tim will go.
All right, as the
Never mind.
As the votes are being tallied up, we will actually move on to new business. Actually, one last thing, old business was location of these meetings. I did go with Kenny to the Bet's place. It has no internet to allow us to do the online meeting, so that one's ruled out. I still need to follow up with the Lewis Library and potential of using the Lewis Fire Department. Anybody in here part of the Lewis Fire Department?
My parents are.
My parents? Do you want to sign them up as members and you have to be there the entire time?
All it has to do is a member of the Lewis Fire Department has to rent the building and they supposed to stay in the meeting while the meeting's going on.
And I think what we said is it's almost about, it's $30 less than what it is per year. And the other option is the Lewis Library, which would be free as long as we can get the access and the meeting schedule as we need.
It's being sold,
Well, they got a new one.
You talking about the new one?
Yeah, are they moved over already?
No, not yet, no. But it's being sold.
You got a new building? You got a new building?
Yeah.
Right next to it.
Yeah, I know that.
That's the library. So, just stay tuned.
You'll have to tell us dummies.
Yeah, we'll let you know where the next meeting is going to be. It'll be here, or I think the other 10 years. Junior?
Yeah, the Lewis Library people have been very good to us.
Yes.
So whether we can hook up with a new one or not, that'd be good too. But we always made a donation to them, as I think we did. We always made a donation to the library. We didn't do it for free. They didn't want any money, but we made a donation.
Wasn't it free because Vicky and Gil were?
No, because we're a nonprofit.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
But I think Gil had a key to the place that made it really.
That's what I think there might have been.
Some sort of connection.
I think there might have been some charge for locking it at the end of the night or something.
It's because Gil works for the town of Lewis.
Right. There was some. There was
There would have
something
been
that we didn't
additional
have
fee.
to pay or something that was associated with
Gil.
which might
Which
be
fire hall location? Where do you think? Nassau?
That's when they're in you probably could use one of them. You know, I just said Nassau.
I think the biggest.
I don't think they're gonna let you use Nassau.
Right.
The one that
Meaning
would,
when the Lions Club meets there, if we make a donation from every year, and that's all we have to do, $500 donation every year. But they allow us to use the meeting hall upstairs in town.
Gotcha.
It is all internet.
And internet there. So I think the biggest thing is just having the capability of doing that.
They told you this? They just changed it, and that's out there.
I made one point just soon as Frank and I left up there. And they
Well,
said,
good, either way, you've got a nice meeting room.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so we have options. We'll let everybody know where the new meeting location is, or it could be potentially here. So on the new business, first thing I would bring up is the 2015 results. Congratulations to American Chunker. With us not having an event like we normally do, we said go to a sanctioned event or get a surveyor and somebody else there to make sure that you follow the rules and regulations of Punkin Chunkin. And the overall winner of 2015 was American Chunker.
I've already done it.
Yeah. way over the hill.
Through the clouds and out of the sun.
American Chunker, this is 4,536.57 feet in Loudon, New Hampshire. How long? 4,536 feet. They didn't meet the record, but it's still a long throw.
Well, I guess they keep the jump of the trophy one more year.
Yeah, one more year. Some other notable shots in 2015, Big 10-inch, 4,440 feet. Adult catapult, Chuck Norris I was actually up there to see this, 2,947.75 feet, and if it was that they could have done that, in Sussex County or at the national or World Punkin Chunkin Championship, that would have been a new world record. And that was beating Fibonacci.
How about Colossal Thunder?
Colossal Thunder did it. That was a big. Yeah, that was a big. Adult centrifugal. Chuck Burton finally got second place. Where they shot him 173 feet. Smoking Llamas did a really outstanding job at 2,368. That's human power centrifugal.
That's unbelievable.
Adult female air. Dawn took that category. They're the only woman shooting.
The other one is outstanding in the field.
Should have known better. Adult human power took that. Adult torsion, 3,224 by each.
Youth air cannon.
Youth air cannon, yeah, I saw that one. Youth air cannon, big shot, 2,442 feet, which was about 100 feet away from my neighbor's house. Yeah, good thing he didn't shoot further. My son did really well. If he was a world championship, he would have broke the record at 443 feet. The Chunk 58, Chunk 58, it was very special for that team because it was a group of kids that were seniors in high school and they've been ready to go into their college careers, so they really wanted to be able to go and shoot one last time, and they were able to enter the Poconos sanctioned event, and they broke their 1,000 foot mark, and they were some really happy kids.
Great.
All right, anybody have anything regarding the 2015 results? And all the results are on punkinchunkin.com for anybody to review at any time.
No trophies to be handed out.
I mean, we actually said that up front that we were going to trade.
Yeah.
I mean, budgetary wise, I mean, we gave away probably more than we could have gave away.
And especially not knowing the variables in terms of how many classes might have actually people participating in them. We didn't want to buy a bunch of first, second, and third trophies and then give it all three of them away.
I'll take them all.
Mark Lane had very nice trophies. Thank you.
Yes, very well. Okay, so while they're still tallying the votes and everything, and I'll send this out, this is still preliminary. Regarding the spotting procedures that everybody's asking for.
This is something that the insurance companies are requiring.
Yeah, and the first thing is because of the fact that a spotter got hurt.
They want us to have a training session for them.
One is going to be a training session. I'm actually going to pull that up right now.
Kind of fun.
And I can send this out to everybody. This is very preliminary draft format. Just consulting with Todd and everybody regarding. Obviously, all spotters shall operate and be trained per manufacturer's recommendation for the particular UTV. They shall operate. There will be no use of ATVs whatsoever in the event. All spotters shall report. We need to figure out how the spotter can report and everything. I know traditionally reporting up to Charlie, and that's what kind of stuff that we have to figure out. We want to keep, we want to do the same jump over and over again. My goal is just to be safer. And that's obviously everybody's goal.
So your team, we still will have team spotters but they're gonna have to go through this training, or you're gonna have to say no team spotters.
It could come down, and this ain't something that I'm bringing up for a vote or to bring up to the floor. This is this gets more defined, meeting with the board, meeting with, some of the other, once we establish the committees and everything, really getting into the nitty gritty to present, to be voted on. So this is just some preliminary information to get people's thought process out there, because obviously the number one thing that we need to accomplish is find the land, because no matter what kind of program we have, it ain't going to help us any if we don't have a place to jump. No spotter shall drink alcohol or be under the influence of any substance, prescription, or otherwise prior to and during the event.
Nobody's gonna volunteer now.
I will. Spotter shall maintain a safe distance. Obviously, there's going to be some sort of communication, knowing that this machine's shot this far in the past, and they may be well beyond that point. There's always the potential of them shooting further, but we have so much data on a lot of these machines, and it's even good to collect the data like we did this year on some of these machines out there. And from a captain's perspective, if you're new to the field and everything, you've had to shoot your machine to get an idea of where it's going to go. Maybe this might even be the topic of discussion, that for the new machines, we just increase that distance that you have to be behind that chunk in order to be safe. Obviously there should be a spotting safety meeting every day, and we have to really enforce the violations, and have some people that really are trustworthy out there, knowing that people aren't drinking or doing anything. And UTVs, being that they're throttled down, so there's not really going to be really fast movement out there. And I think there's some volunteers of the association that are working with college students to figure out ways of spotting pumpkins easier and everything. I mean, I've even taken some time and investigated GPS and RFIDs and technologies out there, but cost-wise, yeah, you just need to focus on finding a piece of land and chunking like a chunk.
So they're not going to let any machines out there that are straddle machines?
Yeah, I mean, right now the topic is ATVs, but more than likely it will come up to straddle machines, being that I doubt they're allowed with dirt bike.
Or a lawnmower.
So they have to use golf carts.
They have to use golf carts?
Yeah, more likely to be golf carts. Yeah.
Golf carts or side by sides. Chasing pumpkins, golf carts?
No, but even us operating stuff in pits.
All right, new business. Anybody have anything?
I have something.
Yes.
We have all these four-wheelers and stuff. Are they all UTVs that we have, or are they all four-wheelers?
Frank can speak to that.
Everything except for 3 that we own are side-by-sides of some type or another. We have 2 Razors, several Polarises, and we have 3 straddle devices.
So wouldn't it be wise to sell what we don't need? Put it in our association?
I think with the new turnover with the board, we'll do a new inventory. I think we did some inventory last year.
Yeah, we know what we have, but it would probably be worthwhile to at least explore the option of.
We'll
get some captains to sign one of them, and we can wrap a little.
Why not?
Yeah.
There's nothing that says we can't raffle it off at the event.
We can't?
There's nothing that says we can't.
Yeah, I was like,
We either can sell raffle tickets all year long and give them away on stage.
You raffle them all.
yeah,
You got a good crowd.
it's good to get people out there to, because they have to have a raffle ticket that says something about the event and get people's attention. Yeah. Anybody have anything? Harry?
Frank, as it stands, are you still going to continue your program with private events?
We will still continue having sanctioned events. I think there's going to need to be a committee that I'll probably appoint somebody to regarding sanctioned events.
Are you going to take on new ones?
The idea of sanctioned events just should be spread. I even want to go as far as having people in that committee reaching out to the already sanctioned events, or even events that were sanctioned under previous presidents. Because right now we're only recognizing 4.
You got 3 on.
3, and I think there's 4 or 5. I mean,
That's very small.
very small, but I mean, I figured, Brother, you probably sanctioned events when you were president that are still going on today.
Well, all I did was get it so you could sanction.
Right. I mean, I think the one
We never actually got any sanction.
there's one in North Carolina that you 2 visited
Right?
Yeah.
They feel that they already sanctioned
They
that.
said that they sanctioned their event.
Right. So we have no information regarding that unless Frank Shade did it.
Yeah, and I'm sure Bill will remember this. It goes back about 10 years. That one in North Carolina actually filed a North Carolina trademark on Punkin Chunkin. And we battled them with Greg, I forget what the attorney's name was, but our U.S. trademark trumps their state trademark.
Right.
And then whenever regime change, that was kind of dropped. But they're still running an official Punkin Chunkin in North Carolina under that name, violating our trademark. So,
And this is where I just want to reach out to these other Punkin Chunkins that are happening out there.
We can make prelims too.
Yeah, just to say hi.
Qualifiers.
Yeah.
Eventually have a whole bunch of qualifiers to get to the big event.
That's always been the goal.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we, the association this year, maybe, we get this land thing behind us. We can take a look at that because our trademark's violated up and down the coast everywhere you go, including Holly Kia, who was chunking pumpkins on TV and selling cars.
Yeah, and I don't.
You know what? And we let that go, and it's going to get to a point where we have no control over it. Yeah. If we don't, as an association, step up to the plate and take this back, we might as well just give it to the world and say goodbye.
And I don't think that people are knowingly violating it.
Yeah, they are.
We just need to talk. We just need to say hi. We need to extend, and we have to give them some sort of value of being, Punkin Chunkin. And that's where I think this committee is actually going to.
The value is the name, or they wouldn't be using it. So we need to step up to the plate. In my opinion, just remember, we need to step back up to the plate and say, listen, this is our trademark. It's U.S. trademark. It's our name. If you want to use it, there has to be consideration to us.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to be nice guys. We're going to be assholes. Excuse me. We're not going to be buttheads. But we got to step up to the plate and say, we own this, and you're violating. Yeah. Just like me coming to you and say, I'm going to make everything I own named Techno Goober. And you're going to say, wait a minute, that's my trademark. Yeah, but I'm selling Techno Goober phones, and I'm selling Techno Goober pens.
I'm going to back on the farm for you.
So.
It sounds to me, Frank, like there's no standard application for a licensed event.
Well, there
is.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and
Does somebody know what it is?
I sent it to you.
Yeah, we have it's been around for
Okay, because you reached out to.
So is there a fee?
Yeah, there is a fee, $500 recurring.
Right, annual.
Annual. Okay, there's
So you gotta
percentages.
pay $500 every year to have your event there.
$500 to be able to use the Punkin Chunkin name. There's percentages on certain things as far as like broadcast rights, and if we get our logo straightened out and everything, and they want to put it on their shirts as well as us, there's percentages out there regarding that.
So we don't need to go through all that formality for a private event.
If it's private,
You can still get your.
This is going to be the discussion that we're going to have.
For a private event, if you're just looking to have your shots count, that's where the procedure comes into play. You have to have a surveyor measure it, and you have to have somebody there to verify that you played by the rules.
So that's different than a licensed.
Yeah. The idea of the sanctioned events is folks who are making money with our trademark is where there's a value to us. Where if it's a private event that there's not paying spectators, you're not selling media rights, you're not selling merchandise, you just want to take a shot and have it measured and have it count like we did this year, that's a completely different situation.
But there are certain rules, like you have to be a registered team.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that we can
member,
talk.
which go hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a little bit of time to actually talk about that. Is the fact that I would like to see more teams join the association. I obviously not necessarily coming to the World Punkin Chunkin Championship. I mean, we already know what those events are, but I know like Harry, he wants to be able to go out and shoot his machine and have it recognized, but not as part of the World Championship event, but be recognized that Iron Tiger shot this far, and he is a member of the association. He's getting information of the association.
Yeah, and it's nothing personal. My biggest thing is I don't want to travel.
Right. And there's a lot of people out there. All the people out in, I mean, I've been finding all kinds of Punkin Chunkers out there that we reach out to them and say, hey, you want to be a member? And just for the fact that we are the Punkin Chunkin brand, I mean, there's a lot of people who just want us to put their distances out there or their picture up on Punkin Chunkin Facebook or the website to say, hey, this is I would like to see the punkinchunkin.com be a registry of all air cannons or all siege machines out there that have fun with pumpkin, and figure out a way of having them contribute to the association.
Yeah, right. Like paying their machine registrations and their dues, whatever.
Yeah. Anything else regarding that? Another thing, one of the things that we'll actually have a topic of discussion will be regarding membership. It's under the, everybody feels that in order to be a member, you have to be part of a team, and one of the things is one to try to see if we can increase our membership, and if our membership being that I want to see if we can get some more volunteers. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that be willing to help with the association, but they may not know somebody that's on the team or anything like that. They would not be allowed to be into the pits and everything, but it would be something that we'll talk about in February. Just trying to figure out how we can gain more support out there. Later on they can probably jump onto a team, or they just get passes to Punkin Chunkin, but they can't go into the pits or anything under their membership. There's a lot of discussions regarding that. I do want to reach out to all captains. I did send out a form. Captains are in the position of asking us, why don't you ask us to do something? Well, we don't know what to ask to do if we don't know what you're capable of doing. So I sent out a form, and anybody that's online, please fill out that form. Give me an idea, give the board an idea what kind of assets you can provide to the association, so we know who we can actually lean on in the event that something comes up that we can utilize you for. It should not be that this association is ran by just the board. I mean, captains can do things remotely. I mean, especially in the digital age of having social media, the website. Even the fact that we could use some press writers, because I think we need to put out there a little bit more that we are still alive, we're still kicking, and we're still doing good for the community and stuff. So that's very important for going into this year. Is I'm really going to just hound you in the fact that I like to see more of the captains contribute to the overall success of this, and it'll be a whole lot easier on everybody as a whole. Anybody have any questions regarding that?
Well, that'll be something new.
Yeah, it'll be something new.
That's what we need.
Yeah, I think that's I'm still working with Matt DeFrancisco to see if he'll help out with social media, and he's up in the New Hampshire area, and that'll give a lot of exposure because as you can tell, other than me going up to New Hampshire, all the exposure was local, and I would like to have somebody out in Colorado with social media to give Colorado a little bit more exposure, because the only things I post are the things that I'm made aware of, and there's so much more that can be posted out there that is the benefit of the association as a whole. And we come up with policies on how to handle that kind of stuff. All right. Any other new business other than what I came up with? So on my list, it comes down to the 2016 elected officials. And I think Jeremy did something wrong.
Yeah, I already got reprimanded.
No.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I got reprimanded since
People weren't ready to pass.
So take a break until they're ready.
Find out if they're.
What about the quilt thing?
Hey, Dad, you have any updates on the quilt?
I would like to draw the winning ticket next meeting. That's suitable. And does anybody need to see the quilt? I'll see them.
You can hold it up so people online.
Where's the best place?
Right where you're standing.
Right where you're at. And Captain Bob from Honaker, he just makes sure that we talk about torsions, backstops rule. I was up in New Hampshire, and his machine did do a shoot backwards, and his backstop worked perfectly. I mean, it hit right back into the backstop, and it did enough force to actually bounce it up to him. It was waist high, but almost directly right there.
You saw that?
Oh yeah, it's on the video. There's video.
There's pictures of it from the side where it comes by him.
Yeah.
And caught here, up into the air.
If you turn around quick enough, you probably could have caught it.
Yeah, because it landed within like 2 feet of where he was originally standing.
So it counts back at him.
It literally did this. And came over the top. It probably went about 20 feet in the air at the most. And it came down what we next to the backstop fell over, but it did its purpose. And so it might have just been the way that the legs were set on it, but it literally the pumpkin came back, hit straight back, hit the backstop, and then went up. It curled it right up into the air. But in the meantime, you know, the energy, I guess, that the backstop absorbed caused it to fall over. But it's totally, you know, the pumpkin came down.
Hey,
like
hey Bob Carbo, if you go ahead and unmute yourself, you could probably just talk.
Busted on the ground. We probably had enough impact to hurt him had it hit him on the top of the head, but
let's try to test it out.
But yeah, by no means went back or went, you know, real high.
All right, it looks like we got Terry and everybody back.
Don't read them like Steve Harvey did.
All right, for the 2016 new officials that needed to be elected in, the vice president, you have elected Frank Shade to sit in that chair. For trustees, you have voted in Deb. Congratulations. Kenny Hopkins, congratulations. And Ricky, congratulations. And yes,
I also have to tender, and under that I have to tender my resignation as a trustee.
So you got another one to pick.
So the fourth place vote in the past has been the replacement, and they do the rest of my term.
Right, and Ronald, welcome to the trustees.
Oh, welcome.
All right.
Yeah, it's 1 year, and that's 1 year term.
Yeah.
Good. You guys get to stay after this meeting to attend the 24th. Yes, Chief.
Frank, I'd like to let everybody know that George Russ was stepped up to the plate again, and with this organization, and I welcome him as a parliamentarian / sergeant of arms.
Thank you, George. The biggest thing that we have here is I feel that from a Punkin Chunkin perspective, we have many, many years of experience on this board. And that's going to help us out in 2016, and also with the captains being able to assist us in our needs. Congratulations, everyone.
All right, that being said.
Does anybody have anything else? All right, for the Building Association.
I bought you guys a lottery ticket, by the way.
Oh yeah, if anybody wins the lottery, will they buy a swing?
If you win,
I will.
All right, we pledge. We pledge as an association.
If I win, I'll buy it from you.
Everybody needs a pledge. If you win the lottery tonight, let us know. Yeah, we'll just buy this player.
I promise to buy the Wheatie farms and send it to Florida.
$800 million. $800 million.
So, anybody want a motion to close?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Everybody remember the meetings are the second Saturday of every month, and we'll let you know.
So our next one is
Where? Yeah, February.
Yeah.
4 o'clock. Thank you, everyone that joined us online. Very appreciate it. We'll be here next Roll board.
You guys all got to stay.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah, that is.
Huh?
We want experience.
All right.
It's actually 10.
Yeah, it's $2 each.
Wait, you told me, what, a long time?
Yeah, I got 5 on it.